Yeah. I try to look back, what did we do last?
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So I did catch them.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Kind of
But thank
same,
you
but
for your
also-
help.
I figured you would want to know.
I appreciate that, yeah.
I am still going on. Yep. Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 7 o'clock and we shall call the meeting to order and start with the pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Start with the roll call, Mr. Lee.
Osborne,
Here.
Euler,
Here.
Bentley, not present. Jones,
Here.
Kushner.
Here. Approval of council minutes for March 11, 2024.
Move to approve.
Osborne,
Yes.
Euler,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Kushner.
Yes. Adoption of the agenda.
Move to approve agenda as presented.
Osborne,
Yes.
Euler,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Kushner.
Okay, number 5, we have 5.1. Public hearing on an ordinance annexing certain adjacent territory into the city of Warrensburg, Missouri, located east of US Highway 13 and south of Northeast 200 Road. Mr. Carroll.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. This is a request that's come forward from Brady Commerce Park LLC, which is represented by Vicki Terry McDonald. She owns an approximately 430 acre parcel of land that's located on the far east end of Brady Commerce Park. It's about 2,000 feet east. It begins about 2,000 feet east of US Highway 13, and it runs fully the length between Northeast 200 Road and US Highway 50. There's currently a single family house in the southwest corner of the property that will remain. And if the land is successfully annexed into the city, they have requested a light industrial zoning district be established. That would come forward at your next city council meeting. The remainder of the property is currently undeveloped or used for agricultural purposes. They're seeking the annexation to further business development and recruitment to that park. As well, there is currently under construction an extension of Veterans Road from where it ends there by the Dollar Tree property. It would extend onto the east before turning north and tying into Northeast 200 Road. That's currently under construction. And so this would annex that right of way as well as the full parcel into the city of Warrensburg. The state statutes require that you hold a hearing on annexation requests. You can read the title of the ordinance for the first time, and then there's a 14-day waiting period to receive public comment. And if after that comment period has ended, you can take action on the ordinance. And so we would put it on your agenda next meeting, April 8th, for a second reading. As of yet, we have published the notice of tonight's hearing in the Star Journal and have not received any public comment so far. Staff has not. So be happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, we would recommend taking comment and reading the ordinance by title for the first time.
Is the house occupied?
I believe they do have renters in it from time to time.
And that's part of the whole.
And it's part of the parcel that it would all be annexed. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I'm assuming both public safety and public works and all are understanding that the day we do this, they get it.
I believe so. Usually it takes dispatch can take about a week to get the map updated, but other than that,
Okay.
yeah, they're aware.
I don't believe has anybody signed up for the annexation? That could be a new job for Phil back there.
They sit in that, the opposite church.
Okay, since there's no comments, council, do you have any other comments? And I assume staff has no other comments, so we will close the hearing. And go to the first reading ordinance, 6.1. An ordinance annexing certain adjacent territory into the city of Warrensburg, Missouri, located east of US Highway 13 and south of Northeast 200.
Nothing additional.
Move, motion?
No motion.
No motion.
No motion, that's right, first reading. Okay. First and second reading, 7.1. An ordinance authorizing city manager to purchase public works aerial bucket truck. Mr. McCann. And you gotta talk and know how.
Needing mayor and council, we're, this aerial truck was in the 23-24 budget approved. And we're basically come in to you to go ahead and order it. So it did come in under our budget that we had originally thought. So come in about 158, 55, 33. So we 170 was where we had budgeted. So
Good.
What year's the truck? I tried looking on the,
it's an 05.
the new truck that you're getting is an
Oh,
05,
new one.
the new one.
It's brand new.
So that makes it a 24. Thank you.
It's a piece of equipment we use for signal lights and trimmer trees and right of way and stuff like that. So,
Some people used to ride in picture or take pictures.
yeah.
We don't do that anymore, but with the new truck, it's gonna be tempting.
Yeah, you might not have to be rescued by the fire department.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It's over. Okay, any comments or questions from the council? Then a motion, please.
Motion to move to second reading by title only.
Osborne,
Yes.
Euler,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Kushner.
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to purchase Public Works aerial bucket truck. This is for adoption or rejection. Osborne,
Yes.
Euler,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Kushner.
Yes.
Thank you.
And the next, excuse me, the next one is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute a dissolution agreement with the Hawthorne Development Transportation Development District in connection with the abolishment of the Hawthorne Development Transportation District pursuant to state statute. I don't have to read that one.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council, for the opportunity to bring this forward for you all. The Hawthorne Development Transportation Development District, I will refer to that as our Hawthorne TDD moving forward in this conversation, was established in November of 2005. An additional 0.5-cent sales tax was approved by qualified voters within the district to finance transportation infrastructure improvements within the district. That was approved in 2006 for a 20-year term. Those funds have been used to pay for the improvements to the intersection of Hawthorne Boulevard and McGuire Street, formerly Missouri Highway 13 at the time. Relocation of the intersection of Hawthorne Boulevard and Simpson Drive to the east of McGuire Street. Grading, construction, and improvement of Hawthorne Boulevard, Cooper Boulevard, Basswood Street, Northern Hills Drive, and Thompson Boulevard. Upgrade the traffic signal, provide additional turn lane at Cooper Boulevard and Simpson Drive. And improvements in the public right-of-way related to the transportation infrastructure improvements. Bonds were issued in 2006 and for about $4.2 million. And then another series of bonds was issued in 2017 for $2.5 million to refund the 2006 series and fund a portion of additional improvements. Those bonds have been paid in full. After the debt had been paid, revenue generated from that additional 0.5-cent sales tax was used to fund the Cooper Boulevard extension that we just completed. There are no additional transportation improvements that would be eligible for us to use these funds. Therefore, the TDD Board of Directors has recommended that we abolish the Transportation Development District, which would mean that the half-cent sales tax that is in the Hawthorne TDD will no longer be on the tax rolls as effective of March 31st of 2024. So here at the end of this week or so. The funds that are remaining in there, which we are anticipating are about less than $250,000 by the time we get reimbursed for Cooper Boulevard, and all of the remaining administrative costs that we have for the TDD, will be given to the city. Will be unrestricted funds. However, we know that we have significant transportation needs throughout our community, particularly at McGuire, over the bridge, or the McGuire Bridge over Highway 50. So we will certainly be able to find a good project for those funds to be used for. I do want to note, I think that this Transportation Development District has been used to fund was a funding source for us to do some very important improvements to infrastructure in our community, building out that Hawthorne Development District. And I will note that we are able to abolish it 2 years ahead of schedule. Could be on the tax roll until 2025, at the end of 2025, 2026. But because we have completed all these projects, we are going to abolish it 2 years ahead of schedule. I think this is a success story, an economic development success story for us to share with the community. So are there any questions? Staff recommends approval.
It includes Marshalls to Zaxby's to Farm and Home, or does it take?
No, it doesn't go that far. A Farm and Home meaning Swishers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, been here forever.
So no, it doesn't go that far, but it does include, as you mentioned, Walmart, Aldi, Zaxby's, Marshalls,
That whole block.
Station, that whole area. There is a map in the packet.
Okay.
If someone wants to take a look at that online. One of the other important things to note, as a term of this agreement, Walmart did include some non-compete clauses. So you could not have a discount store that sold groceries that was over 30,000 square feet. So that would be in that district. So we do think that this may open up some opportunities for us to look at the Hawthorne properties that we do have for sale, as well as some of those other, the economy lumber, even though that's not in the district. I think just being able to say that we no longer have this on the books may help us be able to recruit and be more marketable to some of those other retail businesses that would be interested in coming in at that hard corner, especially when we do start to get the bridge over McGuire rebuilt and replaced.
That's good that goes away.
So that was the restriction when this started for the big box stores, basically, is what it was.
Certain types of big bucks.
Right. So that ends March 31st, and half cents on the dollar ends on March 31st, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
We are moving forward. All the paperwork has been sent. After this, all the paperwork will be sent to the state auditors. So we'll get that closed and off the books.
All right. Need a motion then.
Move to approve the resolution.
This is an ordinance.
Ordinance, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Excuse me.
no worries.
To second reading.
Second reading by title.
Thank you. Osborne,
Yes.
Euler,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Kushner.
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute the dissolution agreement with the Hawthorne Transportation Development District in connection with the abolishment of the Hawthorne Transportation Development District pursuant to state statute. This is for adoption or rejection. Osborne,
Yes.
Euler,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Kushner.
Yes.
Thank you.
See, it was hard, wasn't it?
That's a lot.
Okay, next we have other business. 8.1 is a resolution. Resolution of the city of the council of the city of Warrensburg accepting a proposal for workers' compensation insurance from Missouri Rural Trust Services Workers' Compensation Insurance Trust for coverage of the period April 1st, 2024 through March 1st, 2025. Ms. Christensen.
Good morning, good evening, how are you all? You got such a mouthful tonight on all of these.
I know.
It's like a trick. Anyway, thank you for having us this evening. I think you saw in your packet, we did have an increase in the workers' compensation. It's about $63,000, 64, if you round it up from what we had last year. To kind of explain, and Mike Keith is here and Logan from Mike Keith Insurance in case I say it incorrectly, but basically workers' comp is based on a couple of things. One is, and what we try to really control a lot is the claims and how long those go on, and you know, how we want everybody to be safe and not injured. And then the other thing is payroll. And people in what category of different kinds of payroll, and that kind of gives you then what it's going to cost you for your premiums. They look at, when they figure our rate, they are figuring it out based on so many years of history. And we had a very low history year fall off this year. So we had one where we only had $33,000 worth of claims in it. And the year that came on was $255,000. So needless to say, that raised our rates. And then in addition to that, of course, we had raises were given last year, as you know, to our workers. So between those two things, that is what has caused that to go up. And I just wanted to make sure that I explain that. The Mike Keith Insurance Company went to a lot of trouble. We have in our fee schedule, so you've got, you know, what your experience is, then you've got your categories of your employees and how many and what the payroll is, and then that all filters down to a number. Then that number has an experience mod that is applied to it, which usually you know, can make it go down or up. And then we also have a deviation factor, and the deviation factor can be anywhere between 25% additional to 25% or zero. Yeah, 25% negative. And the city has been lucky to be enjoying a 15% discount on with our deviation, not discount, but deviation factor of a negative 15%. And even though our $255,000 cost year came on, their staff was able to negotiate us maintaining that negative 15% deviation factor, which reduced the bill by $52,000. So it really does make a difference. So I just wanted you to know, and they are here to answer any questions, or if you have any other questions.
What was our mod at?
The mod was at a negative 0.91, and we went to 1.14. There's a big difference between 33 and 2.
Yeah, we were anticipating this one. I think that's 2021. Is that 2021, Mike?
Should have been 22.
Yeah, that was effective. Yes,
Okay.
April, it's effective April the 1st.
And if you'll recall, that's when we asked Chief Jennings to take on our safety program and really start getting our safety committee up and going, and he has done an excellent job. We have a committee of employees who are representing all those different departments, and Chief Jennings has done a really great job getting our safety program up and going. But we knew that we were going to have a significant year coming back on because they do use that every year.
Okay. Other than that, sounds good. Any questions or concerns from the council?
Or Mike Keith Insurance?
Oh, anybody have any questions for Mike?
One thing I'll note is we did go to other companies this
Oh, I'm
year
sorry. That's a report to them.
and got some additional quotes, and this was the lowest one. They varied from, I think, 530. It's like
560,000.
565.
Please stand up and address
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Sorry, and that was in your report.
Yeah. Well, the Travelers, which is the market of last resort, is 565, 350. Missouri Employers Mutual out of Columbia, which you hear a lot about, was 344, 925, and the trust came in at 310, 729. So the trust, you've been in the trust, you're a charter member of the trust, started April the 1st, 1994, and you've been in there all these years. When you join a self-funded program, it's for a long period of time. You take the highs with the lows. And this trust has been good to the city of Warrensburg, been good to the 130 some members that I have in the trust. When this trust started, it started with 27 members, and 24 of those were ours, and you were one of them. So we thank you for your continued support.
Thank you.
So Mike, what year was the 33,000? How far back did that go? I'm just,
3 years.
it's just a 3-year look. Okay,
The experience model is based on a 4-year period.
okay.
1 year drops off and 1 year comes on. Well, 33 dropped off and the
255.
250 went on. Now, we're too early to predict next year,
Sure.
but we hope to have a better year.
We're planning on that.
We are planning.
Yeah, right. Okay. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Need a motion for the resolution, please?
Motion to approve resolution.
Osborne,
Yes.
Euler,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Kushner.
Yes.
Thank you.
All you have is insurance people.
No. That was just Mike and Logan.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Appearances on the council not listed, there were none written. Miscellaneous matters from the mayor or city council. Just generalized thanks to everybody, how they've been working and getting along and getting through the screwy weather. And let's see, tomorrow's supposed to be 28 and the next day 75, so we've been making great progress and great strides, and just wanted to thank everybody for all their hard work.
Let me say something about you.
You guys got anything? Ms. Jones?
No, I just want to say how thankful I am that the incident that the police department had to deal with a week ago, that everybody's okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Now it's up to city staff updates. Ms. Goodwin.
Yeah, Barb?
Just a reminder that Thursday at 1:30, 1:30 to 3:30 here in this building, we'll have the retirement reception for Jane Haven, our nuisance code enforcement inspector who'll be retiring. So please feel free to everyone come out for that. And then also we received word this morning that tomorrow we will take delivery of our 2 new trucks that were budgeted in the fiscal 24 budget for community development. These will replace 2 Ford Escapes that we've had since 2009. Each of them are part of the 2009 offering. So we thank you for that in the budget, and we are excited to get those tomorrow.
What are you getting? I forgot. What kind of trucks?
F-150s.
Come on, Marcy. I can tell you're dying. Keep popping seats.
I'm bringing my water. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm really excited, and I apologize if you've already heard me state this before, but I'm really excited. The WCVB has a grant program. And last year we created a sponsorship program as well. And so now we call it the community support. 2 programs are underneath that. We've budgeted 20,000. Since 2019, we have not been able to allocate all of the funding that we put in that line item because things just happen. This is the first year that we've been able to allocate the 100% of the money that's in that line item. I'm really, really excited about that. We made it a goal once the building got completed that we were going to really push and let everyone know, bring awareness to those community support programs, because what it is about is putting the money back into our nonprofits that are hosting events in our community that are driving tourism. It's open to 501c3s and 501c6s. There are some stipulations because we are using the tax, we are using the lodging tax. There are stipulations, it has to be tourism related. But we try to make it as seamless as possible, very user friendly, and we work with all of the applicants. This year, we've already awarded sponsorships to the Johnson County Historical Society for the concert series, fall concert series, Warrensburg Foundation for their alumni weekend, Wings Over Whiteman. The grant program, we've awarded a grant to the Chamber for their beer, wine, and spirit stroll, Johnson County Cancer Foundation, and the Whitworth Foundation for their golf tournament. I've already received 3 applications for our last review, which will be April 26th. So we're really, really excited about that. And so next year, we're going to constantly look at what can we do to that program to make it even more beneficial to our nonprofits. Thank you.
Don't fight, you two.
Good evening, Council. Mayor, I didn't have anything, but I started thinking, came across some things. So myself and Detective Stephanie Prendle have been up in training. We started today up in North Platte Airport. It's FBI command school, lead a school this week. It'll be all week long, but furthermore, with Sergeant or Carl Stoss, he's getting ready to move on in his career, leaving. We have posted our sergeant process, and the applications and their resumes have started coming in. So we should have 2 or 3 that are interested in that position. We'll be setting a date for that process coming up here shortly. Then we have 5 applicants that are getting ready to be interviewed. So they just came across Lieutenant Gilbert's desk. So that's exciting, getting some maybe possible replacements there. And then also I heard Eddie, you did a ride along, you're thinking about maybe joining.
Doing it next week, next week.
So
And
that's
I'm
still in
not,
the air then?
and I'm not packing heat,
Oh.
so.
So you might join us.
Yes.
All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, top that one, Enrico.
I'll try.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a few program updates. The sidewalk improvement program, we finished all of Zone 1 in terms of inspections, and we finished almost all of Zone 2. And so we won't be able to complete all of the improvements that are needed within those zones. But the point being, it's still going to keep us on track to inspect all of the residential sidewalks still in that 7-year period. And so we're looking good there. So we'll be looking to get that out to bid shortly. On the street maintenance side, we're still trying to finalize some streets and other quantities for curb and ADA ramps, but we're getting really close on that as well. If you all recall, we did budget 50,000 for manhole rehab. And so we've identified a lot of manholes that we plan on lining the sewer mains. And so we can do that in concert with each other. And so there'll be some efficiencies there. So we're looking forward to finally hitting some of our manholes as well for I&I. We've been making steady progress with Yolongo. Jason McCarty has been working very diligently with Yolongo on fine tuning a lot of our data and correcting a lot of things that in GIS, it would show a manhole here and here, when in reality it's probably closer to being a straight line. And so there's a lot of things that are getting corrected that way. And that'll also help us for when we budget for quantities as well. And so that data is going to be very important. And I think in the next couple of months or so, we'll still be able to put out that community survey that Yolongo and I had shared, seeking feedback on where flooding is. So that's still in the works. We just have to get all the data sorted out first. And I think that's all of the highlights. On the SBR side, the SRF loan was submitted to the state about 2 weeks ago. So we're kind of in a waiting period on that. And one big thing that the IDEA submission, when the proposal was to get solar array at the plants, at the time it was pitched to all cities, not just Warrensburg, that the feds would cover 100% of inspections, construction, and engineering for whatever project was proposed. In turn, to stretch the money, DNR had sent out that it would be 50%. But you still had to keep the original scope. And so with that, it was just too much money for Warrensburg to be able to assume keeping the entire scope and paying for the other 50%. So we did have to pull out. But it wasn't just Warrensburg that had to pull out. Several other cities. I won't speak on the affairs over there, but several cities that I've talked to said that they've also had to do the same. And so hopefully there'll be some revision to where they can keep what the original intent was, but who knows? So I just wanted to keep you all apprised of that as well. So I can stand for any questions if you have.
That was a great idea. I wish it had worked out the way they had originally presented it.
It was worth a shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
I will give my updates for our next agenda item.
Okay. That item is a closed session. Motion to close part of this meeting pursuant to section 610.021 of the revised statutes of Missouri relating to 1, legal actions, causes of action or litigation involving a public governmental body and any confidential or privileged communications between a public governmental body or its representatives and its attorneys, and identifiability, number 13, individually identifiable personnel records, performance ratings, or records pertaining to employees or applicants for employment.
I so move.
Osborne,
Yes.
Euler,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Kushner.
Yes, we shall adjourn. Some of us go across the street.